Hi, I'm Rebecca from DevourDinner.com, and today I'm going to show you how easy it is to make classic refried beans in the Instant Pot. Making homemade refried beans is so quick and so easy. I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks so that you can have this wonderful dish too. But let's get started. It only takes a minute or two. So our ingredients that we're using are, of course, pinto beans. You're going to want to rinse them, drain them, get all the dust off of them. Sometimes there's even little pebble rocks, so get those rinsed and cleaned. Then we'll be using some chicken broth, some diced chilies, some cumin, garlic, and some onion. Okay, let's get going. Start by cutting up your onion. Now, we don't need to take the time and dice this. I am cutting off both of the ends, cutting into the onion and pulling off this outer layer. Cut your onion into quarters. No need to cut it more than that. Just cut it in half and cut it in half again. This recipe is really dump and go. So let's put in our pinto beans. We're gonna add some garlic along with some diced chilies. Now I'm using mild today, but if you want to heat this up with a little bit of spice, use a medium or a hot chili. It's totally up to you. Then we're going to add in 5 cups of liquid. Now I'm going to use chicken broth today because I like the extra flavor that it adds. So I'm going to add 2 cans, which is roughly just shy of 4 cups. And then I'll add the rest with water. Go ahead and break up the onions, throw them in. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then we're going to add 1 teaspoon of cumin. Now we like cumin, so I just kind of ballpark it out. I told you this would go fast. This is going to pressure cook on high for 45 minutes. So let's get that started. Always make sure to close the pressure valve in the back so that your lid is good and secure. The pressure cooker will beep and acknowledge that you have put in the 45 minutes for it to pressure cook. Now what's going to happen is that bottom heating element is going to start heating up. It will heat that broth and that liquid in there and bring it to a boil. The boil will create steam, the steam will create pressure, and it will seal off the pressure valve in the back. At that time, the front panel will change and it will read 45 minutes, which is your processing time. Those numbers are going to count down in numbers. So pay attention, but it will beep for you at the end. Have no fear. Okay, let's let it go, right? This is the no soak method, so you don't need to soak the beans prior to. Just make sure they're rinsed and washed before you throw them in. I promise the beans are going to be cooked perfectly and it'll be fantastic. After the 45 minutes of pressure cooking, we will allow for a 25-minute natural pressure release before we release the remaining pressure. Then you will need an immersion blender. You can use a regular blender, and I'll give you some tips on how to do that so we can puree all of this up and make some delicious refried beans. So what do you like to put on your refried beans? Sour cream, a little bit of lime, some cheese, of course tortilla chips, right? It's a wonderful dip to eat plain, but it's also fantastic to enjoy with other recipes. And I'll link some of those recipes in the description below so you can have a fun Mexican night and enjoy a good family meal. The cooking time has finished. We've allowed for a 25-minute natural pressure release, and then I have opened the pressure valve to release the remaining pressure. There's not much left, but we'll go ahead and we're gonna open up the lid. Of course, it's gonna let off a lot more steam. Remember your lid, the little notch handle from your lid will fit right into the handles of the Instant Pot. Then all the condensation from the lid will run down and collect in the container in the back. It's wonderful. Now that our beans are cooked, it's super simple. Take an immersion blender and we're gonna blend it all up. Those large pieces of onions will get pureed up with this immersion blender. I love making refried beans. Honestly, These come out to a consistency like you get in a Mexican restaurant. You know, when you sit down and they bring you some refried beans with some hot chips, it's just like that. And I love it. Now, as this cools, they will thicken. Here's a tip. Make sure to save some and freeze them for later. They freeze beautifully. It's wonderful to store in like 1/2 cup or 1 cup servings, and that way you can use it for tacos, salads, whatever you like, or just a fun snack when you want a dip. Let's go ahead and dish this up and try it out. I'm gonna make a bean dip, top it with a little bit of sour cream, some cheese, a little bit of lime, and some cilantro. Won't that be delicious? I love to squeeze a little bit of fresh lime juice right on to the refried beans. Give it a try. It gives it kind of that tangy taste along with the creaminess of the refried beans. It's really, really good. And let's top it off with some cilantro. I think it makes a pretty garnish. Now that we have our refried beans made, let's dive in. But before we do, have you given this video a thumbs up? What about subscribed? Go ahead and do it. It's my shameless plug, but do it. Turn on the bell notifications so that you're notified when I come out with more videos, because you're going to want those too. All right, now let's get back to taste testing, because that's why you all came. I love the lime on top. It just gives it that little bit of a tang, that little zest that you're not expecting, but it is so, so good. All right, stay tuned for those bloopers. They're coming up. Let's get started making. Oh yeah, we're good. This recipe is so quick. So, whoo, this is a crying onion. Oh, the lolly. Whoo, oh, they're done. You know, at this point of the day, Finn's done. So we like when he barks and he tells us all about it, because he wants some food too. But in the meantime, let's enjoy these beans.